going on, guys? It's Kyle here with Gnarly Knives. Today we're going to do something pretty cool. I've been wanting to do this for a little while. So today I'm actually going to be doing a full review on these. These are the DMT folding sharpening stones, diamond sharpening stones. So these are really cool, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now I got these probably a little less than a year ago. Whenever I got my Maximate Paramilitary 2. So I kind of forget when that was. It was less than a year ago, but I got these because of that knife. And I use that on this knife, or I use these on that knife, and these are very effective and very good with that knife. But I've started using these with everything now, pretty much. I hate to say it, but I've almost stopped using my whetstones. Now, I still love my whetstones. They're not going anywhere. And I actually plan on doing, at some point in the semi-near future, doing a similar video to this, but actually reviewing and going over all my sharpening stones that I use, like what my setup is with that. There's pros and cons to both. I still love doing the whetstone sharpening. Overall, it's probably still my preferred in the sense of just, the actual, what do you call it? The atmosphere, the whole nuance of, the whole spirit of doing it. So, definitely enjoy that aspect of it. But these give me great options. I actually use these a lot when I'm just like, if I'm just watching TV or something, or I'm just sitting outside. I don't have to, get the stones, get a bucket, dunk them, soak them, stuff like that, getting water everywhere. So that's what I love about these. Now, they do make all different kinds. These I got, I just found fit my usages the most. So I got them at the same time. This first one here is, you see it's blue and red. So this is a coarse fine stone. So the blue is the coarse, and then the red, you can kind of see the red a bit, is the fine. And then I also got this. So this is the fine, or this is the extra fine and the extra extra fine. So this here, so the green side, this is the extra fine. And then this kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a peach color. This is the extra extra fine. I'm not totally sure the grit ratings. I've tried looking it up. The only one I've really been able to find, supposedly this extra extra fine is supposed to be 8,000 grit. It could be. I mean, maybe if I spent a long time on it, I don't know if I'd be able to get a mirror with it. I do have a couple of little stones I'll use, because I can use these in combination with a couple of small stones I have to get decent mirror polishes. They don't come out as beautiful as like when I go through the stones. But these do very well in combination with those for mirror polishes. But I feel like that's a whole other thing. Because I have a few things, because I have this little bag, actually I got for Christmas last year from my sister, but this is my sharpening kit with these, minus all my, because I actually have like a little tub with drawers that I use for my whetstones. But this has a bunch of random stuff in it, all sharpening related. But these are the heart and soul of my little sharpening kit. If anybody is interested, I mean, I can do a video at some point of just what I keep in the sharpening kit. I mean, just off the top of my head, I mean, I have these. I have one of those Falkneven DC4 sharpeners. I have one of those Smith's honing rods, stuff for stropping. There's some other random stuff in there. Oh, because this I also, not just sharpening, it's also like a knife maintenance kit, because I have a little like screwdriver set for disassembling the knives, and oil, and and a bunch of other stuff. So I'll just make a whole video for that at some point if you guys would like, so please let me know. But yes, so the coarse, fine, extra extra fine. I'll do a little bit of sharpening just, for demonstrative purposes. This actually isn't a knife so much as is a straight razor. This is a cheap straight razor. It's not like a fancy one. Though don't see why you wouldn't be able to shave with it. It's just it probably wouldn't last super long. This I actually got as a gift from my girl a few years ago because it's sold as being like a replica reproduction basically of the razors in that Johnny Depp uses in the Sweeney Todd movie, which I love. It's one of my favorite movies. I love those movies. It's funny. I really don't like musicals. There's only a few I actually do like, and that is one of them. The other ones would be Fiddler on the Roof, which is my favorite, one of my favorite movies. And then I think this is more debatable, but I consider it a musical of sorts. But the Blues Brothers, I consider that to be a musical. I love that movie. But anyway, Sweeney Todd, that's what this is from. So I figure we can use this while we're talking about it. So these, like I said, I got about a year ago with the intention of for sharpening the Maximet. Because Maximet is a very hard steel. With research looking up, I believe the Maximet on that Spyderco treats at is about 67 on the Rockwell scale. So that's pretty hard in the sense. But I've attempted it with my stones, my wet stones. Some of my higher grit, like harder stones, it does okay. But like my Kingstone, I wouldn't even bother. It's definitely way too soft for that. I have the Nanoa 3000. It's a little bit on the softer side. I mean, I love that stone. I love the Kingstone. But I just feel like the Maximet would just tear it right up. Or in the sense of just, it would just wear it. Like I'd be removing very little material and just removing a shitload of stone. That being said, all of those stones do very well with ZDP 189 that I have from Spyderco, and that, from everything I've read, they treat that to around 64. So I don't know. So you can take that for what you will. But these have held up amazing. Now, the stone that I use the most out of all of these is definitely this one, the Coarse Fine. It just does a great job. And the Fine is, I mean, it's fine compared to the Coarse. It's still a fairly coarse edge. But when I I want to put a coarse edge on a blade, I'll just stick with these two. When I want to kind of make something a little bit nicer, or if I want to do I don't know, like a little like ghetto mirror polish, or just have a finer edge, then I'll bust out the extra fine and the extra fine. And all have held up great. The Coarse stone, I mean, I've straight up reprofiled edges, like not just sharpen it, like reprofile. And it's done great. I mean, it's diamond, so it should, but it has held up really well. And that, probably close to a year that I've used these, I'm a conservative estimate, and I'm, no bullshitting. I've probably done, I would say, upwards of 200 sharpenings of various steels, so it's not all, Maximet ZDP. Yeah, you throw some, the softer or, lower end steels, and of course it does well with those. But these have held up. Now, of course, yeah, are they, when I first bought them, because when you do get them, just like any other diamond stone, they do have to wear in a little bit, so they're generally a little more coarse the first sharpening or two sharpenings, and then they'll feel a little smoother. But excuse me, excuse me, but they still do great. So sorry, excuse me. But they still have held up amazing. That's why whenever it gets to a point where any of these do wear out, I'll absolutely go and buy them again. I have zero regrets with, because they are a little pricey. I mean, I guess that's also, relative and subjective. Because I know you can get like pretty cheap diamond stones. I haven't tried them, so I don't know if it's like, oh yeah, no, they're just as good. Maybe it's something I could do if you guys are interested, and then I can do like a comparison, side by side. But these, because I had also just looked them up before the video. So these both go in the $30 to $35 range. It just really depends on where you're getting it, but generally you're going to be spending at least $30 per. And to me, you know what? I feel like it is worth it, especially where with some of like the whetstones, and you can go well into the hundreds, and I'm sure with some diamond stones you can as well. But I mean, both of these together, I probably spent about 65, $70, and a couple of my whetstones I have were just $70 on their own. So and to have the versatility with it. Now, granted, they're like 8 and 12,000 grit, like but these overall, like these are amazing. I actually think I might get another set of both. In general, I might take the new ones and use those in my sharpening kit, and then keep these for like backup, or keep them in the garage, something like that, or going out in the woods, anything like that, and just to have these. That's why I think these are so great, because they're also, now they're only this big when they're folded up, and then you have the handle, and it has a little notch thing, and it locks into itself. So like how cool is that? So now you can hold it, and then there's a little rise on each side, so where the top and bottom of the handle kind of protrude. So it's nice because, and I've done it a few times. I've come close. I haven't actually cut myself. I think I've said that in other videos. I've cut myself a shitload of times using knives, but as of yet, I have never cut myself while sharpening. I hope I'm not jinxing myself, but I haven't. I've come very close, and I've actually come close with these a couple times, but what's nice is you can see you run right into the handle, and it will stop it, and that's what's kind of nice. So it gives you that little, I don't know, protection, if you will. I mean, if you're going like nuts, you can absolutely go right up over it, hit your hand or something, but I try not to go too nuts while I'm sharpening, but it does give you that extra little bit of protection. I mean, it's better than, because like some of my stones I have are really small. I'll just hold them like this. Well, actually, I'll hold them so my fingers are holding the bottom, so you can just literally go right over the top. I mean, these, because they have the handle, I don't need to do that. But they have held up amazingly, and they're workhorses. And what's great too with diamonds, as opposed to like the whetstones, you don't have to use water or oil. I mean, you absolutely could. I don't see any reason why you couldn't. It would probably make it a little easier in the sense of, you won't get metal and diamond dust. Because I'll notice like on my hand, if I'm doing a lot of sharpening, it'll start to get a little black from, the dust. And then of course, whatever I'm, because if I'm like sitting down while doing it, I'll get like a little bit on like my shorts and my shirt. But they're very easy to clean. Actually, what I really just use is I keep a couple of paper towels. You can see they're kind of getting a little dirty, from whatever, just wiping them. But that's all I'll do. I'll just give them a couple of wipes. And then, I mean, if you really want to clean them, just throw them in your sink, just with the faucet and a little like dish soap. And that really cleans them out. But I think I've only done that like 2 times. I mean, these clean up really well just using this. Or you can just dab this in water and just give it a nice wipe down. It holds up really well. It cleans really well. I absolutely love these. And it's funny because prior to these, the only reason, like I said, I got it was for the Maximet. I was never opposed to diamonds, but I was just so, whetstones, yeah, the whole thing, that I never really put much thought into them. And now I'm like, shit, I wish a couple years ago I got into diamond stones. But I absolutely love these, and I think they are great for someone, especially if you spend a lot of time outdoors. They do make small stones that you can use, like for example, you can use the DC4. See if I can dig that out. Yeah, right here, so you can use the DC4. So, all right, so I guess I had a little bit of experience with diamond, because it's diamond on one side for the coarse, and then the fine side is a ceramic. And this is a great little stone. I lost it, but they do have a little leather sleeve that this goes in. So I mean, something like this is great too. This is like something, like I said, I would hold kind of like this and do all that. But I do have a video on this if anybody is curious. I did a video several months back about the DC4 sharpener, because this is a great little stone as well. If you just want a good one and done, I would take either the DC4 or this, the Coarse Fine. Between the two, I'd probably go with this. I love the DC4, but I find that this is a little bit more versatile overall. And it's also, you do get a longer surface, which I kind of like as well. So if you're sharpening larger objects, or what's cool too, and I've even used this, I've sharpened an axe with it, because it's nice because you can, hold it like this, bring it to the axe and do your thing. That's what I like about it. Like it's very versatile. And then I did discuss price. So they are in the $30 to $35 range. So I mean, that is something that you would have to think about. But if you don't sharpen all the time, or you don't have a ton of knives that you need to maintain, I mean, like I said, I've probably done a couple hundred sharpenings around about using these, especially the coarse diamond, the coarse fine diamond one, and they've held up great. I see no slowing down in sight. I see myself easily doing another couple hundred sharpenings with these. I mean, I can do an update video maybe like in another year or so, see how well they're holding up then. But for getting close to a year of using these, and I use these several times a week. I wouldn't say every day, but I probably sharpen 3 or 4 knives a week with it, and they just keep going. So it's something that, especially if you don't sharpen all the time or don't have a lot of things to sharpen, I could definitely see you getting several years out of these. Absolutely, without a doubt. Or if you are nuts like me and have a bunch of knives and you're sharpening a lot, these have still held up great in a year. I mean, if I get 2 years out of them and I have to replace them every 2 years, it's money well spent, in my opinion. So of course that would be up to you. But I think these are an amazing option. And this isn't sponsored or anything. I know I keep going on. None of my videos are sponsored. I don't think I've reached the size of a channel yet that anybody would want to sponsor my videos. But if that point ever does come, though, I was actually recently talking with one of my subscribers. In the last week, we were kind of talking about this a little bit. But if anybody did ever, like any knife company or whatever sharpening company, wanted to send me stuff or sponsor any of the videos, I would be open to it. The only thing is, number one, I'm not gonna say what they want me to say. I'm gonna explain to them if they want to send me something, like if they email me or message me, I will let them know that I want full control of what I'm saying in the video, for good, bad, or indifferent, how I feel about their knife or product. And also, I would be letting you guys know too that X company or whatever is sent me whatever item, or to do the video, because that's what I want to keep, is honesty with you guys. Because I mean, I don't have a dog in any of these fights, so I mean, it doesn't do me any good lying to you guys or having you guys blowing smoke up your ass about products. Because for me, this is, I do this for fun. But I really hope you guys got some out of this. I mean, if anybody has these or uses these, I mean, I'd love to hear your experience as well. Oh, sorry, just had something pop up on the phone. I had a heart attack. I thought my phone was dying. But please let me know in the comments, and please comment, like, subscribe, share the video, and remember to keep carving and stay sharp.